I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up, and welcome back to Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You know the deal here. We use them line movements. We use cash flow analysis, the splits. We talk about injuries. We talk about trends and angles. We try to put it all together and come up with best bets to rock the books. And tonight we got ourselves a nice full slate of games in action. We even have some boxing. So why not? I got 2 spots that I played on this Tyson Paul fight. Actually 3, but we'll talk about it. Why not? Why not? I don't advocate anybody go large, but maybe take a big swing, if that makes sense. If you guys follow the combat shows that we do out here, you know exactly what we're talking about out there. So let's do it. Let's have ourselves a fun night, you guys. Thursday night, I told you them Eagles. Man, what a game. Fourth quarter, things ripped open. They pulled the scab right off of that thing, and it just was a mess. It was a lot of fun to watch that fourth quarter. Eagles find a way. The teaser came through for me. How about that first quarter? Commanders, first quarter, plus 150, I think. Was that easy money? Maybe. How about the first quarter under 9.5? Was that easy money? Yeah. It was fun. Now, sadly, Devontae Smith on his birthday didn't produce. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say these birthday stats are bullshit. I feel like 3 of the last 4 times I've played the birthday angle, it's lost for me. And so I think it's bullshit. I want it to win. I love the story. I love the narrative around it. And then I hear it and I'm like, all right, but I can recall the RBIs, ribeyes in the summertime. I just, it's if I miss the birthday spot, it'll cash. And then I'll be like, well, of course it was his birthday. So anyhow, just a little pontification here as I evaluate that card last night. And look, we took some bumps and bruises along the road. Last night was not our finest performance. Shout out to C-Mac talking about that ECU game. I was on the under 63.5. Unfortunately, Tulsa scored. Tulsa obviously was the play in that game. And New Mexico State takes the L. Takes that big L at the -4. Southern Illinois did win. They did thump them boys, so that was a positive in our corner. Dallas lost. The Mavericks lost outright as 8.5 pointers. The Stars, the 2 unders yesterday. We're gonna have to put a pin back, and this is what you have to do when you look at these trends, right? You have to reevaluate them. You have to kind of monitor and maintain. We've taken back-to-back L's with that Florida Panthers trend. That was a big one from last season, and it started off hot this year. We're gonna put that one on the back burner for a little bit. Now we did cash Tampa Bay, nailed that thing. Picked up that spot right against them Winnipeg Jets. Everybody's starting to talk about how hot the Winnipeg Jets are. And then the St. Louis Blues game. On the over cashes, it was an over spot. It wasn't a St. Louis Blues spot. So, sorry. We're back at it. We're in action. We're here to fight the good fight that is today's battle. And I think we have some good spots out there for action to be had. So, college football got a big slate tonight. We got 4 games out there. I've got action in 2 of those games thus far. And they don't start till 8. So you'll have plenty of time to get that action in. The NHL, smaller slate for Friday in the NHL, but I'm loaded up. I've got 3 spots. 1, 2, 3 spots in the NHL that we'll talk about. I want to play a 4th. I'll tell you the 4th spot I want to play is the under in the Capitals and Avalanche game. Yeah, under 6.5. We'll see if we can get there. We'll see if I can talk myself into that one by the time we get to that spot in the NHL. I know it's an over. So it's got to be an over. I know. I know. It's not. It's not an over. It's an under. We'll talk about it. What else do we have? NBA. Oh, man. I've got 1, 2, 3 spots in the NBA. Could be 5. It could be 5. So we'll see what that looks like as well. Gonna be fun. And then I've got, what do I got? 3 college basketball plays as well. So we're loaded up. We're loaded up for a good evening of action. And I mentioned that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul battle. We'll have some action in that as well. Why not? Got to take a shot at it. I'm going to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to wait. I'm going to pass my judgment on the fight after it's done. Been pretty disappointed with most of the Paul brother fights that I've seen. I haven't seen one that's really been like, wow, what a banger. And I think I've watched just about all of them. So we'll see. Boxing is not so much my thing anymore as which is UFC, but we'll see. We'll see if we can get to work. So you guys know the deal. It's time to get to work. And it starts with you guys smashing that thumbs up button. Shout out to everybody that came through and got it done yesterday. We do qualify now 2 days in a row, well, 2 of 3 days, where we got over the 85 like mark, which means we got more cash to give away on the live stream tomorrow. 2 days worth of cash at over 85 likes. Yesterday, we had a show max at 107. It was fantastic. Fantastic. We had about 127 peak concurrent viewers. That means 127 people were in here at one time rocking this thing. And we had over 107 thumbs up buttons, which means just about everybody hit it, which is awesome, man. That's really incredible. And we need you guys to do it again. We got to get this thing going here. Let's see if we can get another day. We'll stack up another giveaway on the show tomorrow. Cash money, baby. Not just a dollar scratch off here. We're going to give you guys some money. So take the time now, close that comments, hit that thumbs up button, and then pop the comments back open, and we'll start the show. All right. Let's go. Time to get to business. And business is good. Let's go, guys. Make sure you get your pen and paper ready. The best in the business assemble right here. They're ready to give you their best bets. We're going to talk trends and angles that you're going to want to take away for the future. And a couple big ones in the big 31-0 trend in the NBA. So you're going to want to write that one down in case we don't get an opportunity to talk about it because it happens on a weekend. Hint, hint. Later this weekend. Anyways, last but not least, throw your best bets in the chat. Let's talk about what you guys are on out there. And let's kick it off with commenter numero uno. It was a lot of fun last night with the live stream and the fellas. Joe T came into play. And he's giving you some plays today. It's got Arizona, Wisconsin. Over 151.5. Arizona, Wisconsin college hoops for our guy Joe T and his assault on the unders continues today. Shout out to Joe T. Shout out to NJ Striker, Nicholas Handy, Justin McCalvey says sports money is money. Let's go. Shout out to Keith. Had a good time rocking with Keith last night. Always fun getting with Keith on screen. Cash and bets. That's what he does. That's what we do. Shout out to David Wallace. This fight's going to be wild. Looking forward to it. Keith does say smash the like button. David Wallace says Eagles cash. Never in doubt. Live bet him. So let's go. Says I was having fun with that one. Man, I was drunk on that one. That's what happened there. Straight up. Shots were flying early and often. I don't know that there's a need for me to start off the show doing a shot when we know we're going to do so many shots. It seems like there's like one extra shot in there that's, I don't know. Does that make a difference? Does that stop me from slurring? Probably not. Probably not. Justin McKelvey knows what I'm talking about, though. He's picking up what I'm putting down. Birthday betting is bullshit. I lose almost every time. Dude, I feel exactly the same way, Justin. And it dawned on me last night after, actually it was this morning when I got up and I saw how many times I played that fucking Devonta Smith touchdown prop. And then I'm like, damn it, what a shit angle. Now, the better angle behind that one was he had a bad week the week before. But, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Stunt Blasters in the house, author of the Stunt Bag Play of the Day. Shout out to Chris Sella. Says, drill, baby, drill. Michigan -6. Okay. Okay, Jay Peasy's in the house. Let's go, Jay Peasy, my dude. Says, what up, motherfuckers? Let's go. James Parms rocking with us here. Trans Canada. What's up, Trans Canada? It's great to see you, my dude. There's Nasty Nate, a.k.a. the mechanic, a.k.a. the wrench. Guy's got more wrenches than a fucking mechanic. Bottom line. Friday Night Lights high school playoff game for me, LFG. That sounds fun. He says, when do we go to the Super Bowl? Do they smash? Do they smash, Nasty Nate? And can we get action on it is what we want to know. Do they smash and can we get action on it? Scott Blaster got Florida State money in his Florida State college basketball, I'm assuming. I know they got a game there rocking here, Skunt Blaster. Trans Canada says I dropped $500 on Amanda Serrano to win by decision against Katie Taylor, huh? All right. All right. All right. I know those fights have started already, too, so got to get after it. Serrano decision. Shout out to Ray Otachi's in the house. This is what up, chat. He always fights older guys. What do you expect with Paul fights? Yeah, I don't really expect much, dude. I'll be honest with you. I think that boxing has become what the NBA will most likely become if they don't stop fucking around with this injury maintenance, load management bullshit that they're doing out there, ruining the brand. And that's exactly what boxing did. You know, back in the day, to get the fights for free. And they started charging ridiculous amount. I can remember being a kid watching that Tyson fight Holyfield's ear live. That was like a big deal. Got together at the friends' houses. We were planning to, it was a lot of fun. Expensive. We had to pony up for those pay-per-view cards, but I don't know what happened. Just kind of went to shit. Boxing kind of went to shit. And now they got this. We'll talk about the fight. We'll talk about it. Let's go. Tyson almost 3-1, including boost. Damn. Shout out to Damon Waring in the house. My guy, ready to go. This is Money Talks. Transcanada says Tyson fight 8 2-minute rounds and 14-ounce gloves. Yep. MMA Jeff. Tyson enters the ring to In the Air tonight. The champ still got it. Ray Otachi says Raptors money line is his best bet. Let's go. Let's get the bag, says our guy Damon's rocking with us. Redbeard, Sharon Pulliam in the house. Redbeard, I did not highlight your comment last night, but it was always the Eagles. Shout out to JPZ says Barkley touchdown was money. Tom McIntyre. Yeah. Hard for road teams. I get it. All right. Justin says you can start fading birthday boys and tracking it. I think that's the right move out there. That's the right move. And now the sports books play it up so much too, which makes you wonder, makes you wonder. The other team is going to lay it down on them? Come on. JPC, anyone else like College of Charleston versus FAU? Sharon Pulliam says chat family. All right. Look at it was a short day today, so I didn't have a ton of time to get the graphics in the background. So this is what you see is what you get. But we can still talk about these games and share the action that I'm cashing with here tonight. Let's pop off with the Penguins game to start this thing off against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Yeah, the Blue Jackets. Can you believe it? Sitting at home as a favorite. I'm sorry, as a dog of plus 110. There's got to be tremendous value on that side, right? Right? They've lost a fucking ton of games in a row. I think they got a 7-game losing streak. They just came off a monster road trip. 5 straight games on the road. You know the hardest game of a 5 straight road trip series? The first game home. Now, the Penguins on the other side of things struggle. They do not look like they want to play hockey for shit right now, and that's probably going to be a problem. But not tonight, not in this case, not as we break this thing down here. Now, we do know that from what's going on? What's going on? Get this. Hey, with me, this fucking. Damn. Right smack dab. Right smack dab in the middle. Really? Really? Well, they started putting an ad in this Daily Face-Off. Fuck you, Daily Face-Off. Today's officially the last day that I use your site. How about that? Goaltending-wise, though, I know Merzlikins going in goal on the Columbus Blue Jackets side of things here. Let's keep it short and sweet. We'll keep this thing moving. We'll keep a brisk pace on today's show because lots of plays to give out. Lots of cash to be made, and I want to get to watching some of these fights and enjoy it Friday night. I got to get ready for college football. We got the big UFC stream. All right, let me simplify this. Let me bottom line it to you. You think you're getting value on a small dog at home, you're not. Small dog on the road, different story. Think about that. Like Ottawa the other day at plus 108 or something like that against the Toronto Maple Leafs on the road. Small dog, value. Flip side, small home dog. Very little value. In fact, here's one that makes a lot of sense. And this just speaks to the tone of what's going on in Columbus right now. It's frustration. They're sitting there on a monster losing streak. They just came off a bad, you know what, how boring and miserable it's got to be on the road when you just keep losing. Then on top of it, you know, it's not even like, I mean, yeah, maybe a couple of the games were close, but that San Jose game, they lose 2-1. They get blasted by Washington 7-2. They get blasted by the Kings 5-2. They get blasted by Anaheim 4-2. They get blasted by Seattle 5-2. They can't score any goals. Here's the thing about that. You're not scoring goals. You're just coming back off a massive road trip. When Columbus is at home and they shot 40 or more times the previous game, they are just 1-8. 1-8 says Penguins play, despite their lack of interest in hockey right now. This is a winnable game for the Pittsburgh Penguins here, and you got a vulnerable Columbus team. Happy to be back home, but next game will be the game that we look to play on Columbus. This is that spot. And the 40-plus shots, to me, still losing the game and only getting 2 goals. 2 goals consistently over the stretch of this last half a dozen spot. That's an issue. That's a frustrated team that's going to certainly probably have some internal locker room challenges. Probably guys are going to start getting pissed at each other. Those little cute jokes where you're snapping the guy in the ass with the towel after the game ain't so cute when you're on a 7-game losing streak. And that's how we start this card off. We're going to fire away on a little Pittsburgh Penguins action. Action, Jackson. Get us moving on this one. Let's see what you guys have. KV loves the Penguins play. All right, KV. Get down with that. Irish King likes the Heat plus 4.5. Says Philly, Orlando, over, under. That's an under for me, Irish King. No official play, but it's an under for me in that game. But I do have side. KV says Crosby, 2 goals away from 600. Why not see him get it done today? Bang, bang. Problem is they got the homestands coming up, right? Probably wants to get it at home, but I don't think it really matters. I don't think he cares where he gets it. He just wants to get it, is what it comes down to. And she likes the Pens W. Own Columbus. TransCanada says over 6.5 is the play with the Penguins. Yeah. They got to win that game 5-2 for that thing to cash out there because we know that Columbus is good for 2. Not anymore. 10-3 versus Columbus. Okay. Let's go. Justin McKelvey says he tailed Taint. Matty Ice on Charleston. I didn't know Matty Ice was on Charleston. Wish I'd gotten the memo. And Chris Ellis says Sidney Crosby anytime goal and over 1.5 points. That KV thinks he's going to get it at home. It'll be interesting to see. Onward, upward. Let's go to the next game. This one starts at 9 p.m. There's a bunch of 9 p.m. games on the card, and then there's that lone Red Wings Ducks game at 10. And we're going to attack it. Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Yeti. We know it's coming. We all know it's coming. And we've got Bemelka, the confirmed starter for the Utah Yeti. 1-3, 2.37 goals against average, 92.6% save percentage. Aiden Hill, likely not fully confirmed. But we talked about this, the injury factor that's going on. And speaking of the injury factor, Freddie Anderson, it might be time just to dismiss that fucking guy if you're Carolina. He fucked you last season for what, a third or half of the season? And he's doing it again? They just came out today and said expected, longer than anticipated injury delay for Freddie Anderson. Now, I think he's got some serious health issues, so I'm sure he's a real nice fella. But put the fucking skates away, fella. Your team needs you. And if your blood clotting issues in your legs are stopping you, well, that's got to come first. Stop getting on the fucking roster, taking up the space. And that goes with Logan Thompson as well in Vegas. Now you got Aiden Hill coming in. Now Aiden Hill's been winning 7-3-1, 3.27 goals against average, and an 87.9% save percentage. What have we talked about? Now, we nailed that Ducks game. The under 6, was it 6 or 6.5? I can't remember. It was under, is what I do remember. and why? Well, high degree of confidence and certainty that we're not seeing Vegas shoot the puck enough. Flip side, Vemelka, Utah, small home dogs. This is that spot I just harped on. Small home dogs, do we want to play in on these guys? This one's a little bit different. And the answer for me is yeah. I'm going to take a shot. One, we know that Vegas struggles on the road. Just because they won their last game against, by the way, the Anaheim Ducks, doesn't mean they don't still struggle on the road. Two, we got a Utah team just getting back home, and they handled Carolina. It wasn't just that they handled Carolina, but they shut them down. Carolina's got an offense that's been finding a way to score, and they held them to just one goal. Never looked back in that game after the puck dropped for the very first second of the game. Now, they're getting the Vemelka punch back. He'll start for the third time in 5 games. And look, he played well. He played well against that Carolina game. They're riding back to the hot hand. I love when the team goes back to that hot hand. Fuck the arbitrary rotation. It's like that, the Major League Baseball talks about that. Oh, the data analytics, the analytics say this and that, and you're playing to the analytics more than just with your own eyeballs. And if you got a guy that's playing hot, keep him in fucking goal. Stop 49 of 50 shots on Carolina Hurricanes. Crazy. 98% saving. Unbelievable. And, that moves his record up. So now we got a guy that's improving on the season, coming off of a big win and staying with that hot hand. Number one need for Vegas today. Number one need. Meaning, all the cash is coming in on the Vegas Golden Knights. The number one need for the books right now is the Utah Yeti. And that's a good enough spot for me. There's a couple of things I looked at ultimately when it came down to this game here. The goaltending factor, yeah, could Vemelka go out there and put up a stinker? Sure, but you don't want to play that he's due. You got to ride the hot hand just like the coaches are out there. And it is a revenge spot. We've got the revenge opportunity. They just lost. What was it? 2 weeks ago? 10 days ago? 4-3. Vegas beats Utah. Now that was in Vegas. So now you got a motivated team to come back firing. And surprise, surprise, it wasn't by lack of shooting attempts from the Utah's Yeti side of things here. They shot the puck 35 times on that squad. Couldn't get it past the goaltender, standing on his head. But now we got a goaltender that they can't take out because they've got issues with their backups. Their injury factors are going on. Not going to be a blowout. Probably going to be a very similar game to the way the last one went down. Except motivated for revenge at home. We talked about this when they first started the season. This team's like that puppy that just needs to be told they're a good boy. They're playing in Arizona. Nobody told them they were good boys. They were fucking laughingstock. They were playing in a college hockey arena. It's in Arizona. Doesn't strike me as a hockey state anyways. No offense to anybody that's from Arizona. But now they come to Utah. They've got ownership that loves them. The fans are rooting and hooting for them. And they just picked up a huge win right now. I'm going to take the motivation spot here for this Utah team to bounce back. Or get the revenge, I should say. It's not even bounce back at this point. Plus 108s have moved. There's still a plus 110 out there at BetMGM, but there's a 108. There's 106s, 105s. So keep your eyes on this number, but I love this Utah Hockey Club spot here. I love getting involved. It's been automatic. The biggest need for Vegas the last couple of days has gone, I think it's perfect in the last 7 days. And that's sides and totals. So Vegas got them big, shiny castles in the desert because they're doing something right. And I think we're going to follow along with them. So let's go to the Predators game and Calgary Flames. Third game on the deck. Looking at this one overall, the goalies, who's in net with this one? UC, Juicy, Saros, and Dustin Wolf. Now, we'll say this. I did shit on Calgary's backup goaltenders and minor league goalies last year. Dustin Wolf was one of those guys. If you look back at it, though, right now, the AHL, the Calgary Stampeders, their minor system, has goaltenders that are standing on their head. They've become a goaltending factory. I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised. Calgary always struck me as an under squad, but nonetheless, goaltenders firing away, and here you go. Small home dog. 3 spots on the card here. Dustin Wolf comes in at 5-2-1. He's got that .284 goals against average. He's got a 91.3% save percentage, and he's young, 23 years old. Going to be an up-and-comer for the next couple of years, provided they continue to strengthen their defense. Got to have defense. And he's definitely earned the top. This, again, remember, coming from Calgary last year, there seemed to be, their goaltending in the NHL to what Tampa Bay's pitching is in Major League Baseball. Like, they find a way to make diamonds out of the rough. And that's exactly what's happening. Now, on the flip side of things, Danny Vladar, the lead goaltender in Calgary, he's struggling. 3-4-2. So the best goalie's out, the backup comes in. And then we got Saros on the other side, 263 goals against average, 91.1% save percentage. This is a tricky game, and here's why. They are already ownership deciding if it's a pump or dump situation in Nashville right now. I can't believe it. They're just starting the season, and they said if they can't figure it out, the ownership comes out. Ownership publicly saying that the road trip has been awful. They couldn't be any more disappointed with what's going on. If they don't figure it out soon, they're going to just flat out dismantle this thing and move on. They lost 3-2 to Washington in Washington. They lost 6-2 at Florida. They did beat Utah at home, 4-0. Then they go back out and they lose 3-2 to Colorado, 3-2 to Edmonton, and they got 3 more road trip games. It's tough. It's a bad spot. But in all fairness, back-to-back overtime games and losers to Colorado and Edmonton kind of shows, are they dismissing this team maybe just a little too early? Now, it was a rebound spot for Colorado as well. Now, Colorado with the injuries and guys coming back in, expect them to start playing better. That being said, though, back-to-back overtime losses has to be disheartening. Your ownership team's talking about picking everybody out, moving on. They just brought in all those big player changes at the end of the season to try to make the right moves. And they haven't been able to find any pay dirt just yet. But I think this is a tricky opportunity. The fact that you got a team that's playing so poorly in the Nashville Predators, and they're coming out there lined as a -120, where the ownership team's trying to get ready to sell the farm. They're second to last in the NHL in the West. Who's the worst? The San Jose Sharks. Are they that bad? Maybe. Maybe they are. I don't think so. I don't think in this case here the opportunity is to take Calgary at a price. I think that your best move has got to be read the tea leaves. Listen to what management says. I talked to this with the fellows about a lot of these UFC fights. Listen to what they're saying. And right now they're saying, get your shit together, Nashville, or you're fucking out of here. It's a Nashville spot all day. And we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But, I think you got to kind of look for some things transcend trends. Sometimes we'll fade trends if it makes a lot of sense as well. But you're not getting Calgary at home at a price with a shitty team in Nashville coming into town. That's a red flag. So, that's the way we do it. But that's how we'll go after it. So let's see what you guys have to say there. Johnny C's in the house. Good to see John back in here. I haven't seen him in a minute, or at least commented in a minute. Let's go, man. Let's go. KV says over Minnesota, Sacramento, over Indy Hoops teaser. Sit tight on that one. We'll talk about that first piece. Anderson is 2 wins away from 300. Remember this. Fucking guy might not play again. That's the problem. Start to Ron Young says, hi all. Let's get him. Appreciate you. Coins in the house. There we go. Says UW under 46.5. Vegas 10, was that 10-0-1 on the dad's trip, which is in play tonight. Wow. All right. I'll tell you what. I'm a believer in the dad's trip and the mom's trip. If you guys remember the Chicago Blackhawks, wasn't so good. Well, it was good for Connor Bedard's mom. But the Flyers just had that mom's trip. They were struggling, and they came out and they started beating everybody. So there's something to be said for that. The motherly, I think they call it the motherly love or something like that. Anyways, let's see what happens here. Shout out to Jared Bush in the house. He does disagree with me. He's on the Calgary side of the equation here. Juggler23 says Jake Paul equals anything under 3-1 is free money. Bo Jack says, anyone know the T-Wolves tonight? Sacramento Kings head coach Mike Brown enters tonight's game with a home record of 0-4 against the T-Wolves. Wow. Shocking. Let's move on. Let's talk some college football next. Let's get this into the game plan here. I know my order's a little off. Actually, you know what? We'll go college basketball. Let's keep the order. Let's keep the order up in this piece. Poor graphics job today. Who's running this fucking operation? Start with this New Hampshire game. How about that? New Hampshire and Brown. I was putting this one down and I was like, I can't believe this is a game I want to talk about. 98% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the road team in New Hampshire. Line's coming down slightly. 7.5. Still 8s. 7.5. But the true number seems to be around 8. The plus 8's minus 105. Shop around. The 144.5s have moved up to 147. 80% of the bets and 77% of the cash are on the over. And what a game. You got 1-3 New Hampshire. You got 0-2 Brown. How do you even figure out how to attack this game? Does it become the 1-800-GAMBLER hotline game? No. Brown, SIE, Southern, 72-71 loss. Close one, but they were a favorite and they lost. They played Maine, 69-67 loss as a 3.5-point favorite. Not meeting expectations. But New Hampshire, I don't know how much they got paid, but they got a beating. Phil the kill. Mike leaves no stone on. I can't believe it, Phil. I can't believe I'm mentioning it. Station Play 211 Entertainment in the house. Shout out to you, Station Play 211 Entertainment. Likes the Orlando money line. Any thought? 2 goals each in regulation with Pens win in regulation plus 20. Sure. Yeah, Columbus is good for 2. We see that. They're not good for 3, but they're good for 2. Anyways, New Hampshire goes out there, gets their barn doors blown off by UConn. Shout out to them for having the audacity. And they play a Massachusetts team, and they get busted up. They come back, and they play a little Fairfield spot, 62-56. Kind of getting back to where they should be, benchmarked against who they are or who their identity as an organization is. But bottom line, we'll keep it simple. We'll keep it moving fast for you guys. You can decide if this is that one you want to get involved with here. I don't think defense is going to be an issue in this game here. I think it's defense optional. I think these teams are going to splash. I know that we've got the best line, if you want to get on the Brown side of things, is at FanDuel. But I jumped in on this side of things here, specifically to take New Hampshire. How about this? When they've got more than 3 days rest, the home favorite off a loss this season is 0-7 against the spread. Rest, loss, home favorite, 0-7 against the spread. Now, you might come back and say, well, what are they straight up? 2-5. New Hampshire's a live dog. You can catch these guys at plus 300. The challenge I think that's going to exist for this game ultimately is, being that they're traveling over to Cornell, can they get comfortable and start shooting those perimeter shots that are going to need to go down to be able to, if they can start coming out, if they come out early and they're firing, they are very much that live dog. But if we start seeing a lot of clank, 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 we're going to have to hope for the back door. And I reference that because you want to keep that in mind for live betting. We might want to look to live bet this New Hampshire team on that money line. And again, right now you can catch a plus 300 is the best number on the money line. So keep that in mind. Little opportunity for you guys there. Shout out to Leroy Flood. What do you think about the under 6.5 in the Kings? Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm for it. All for it. I don't know if I'm all for the Wings in that one, though. I'm not all for laying a minus 150 on a team like the Detroit Red Wings in this spot. But that being said, I'm on New Hampshire. I'm just laughing, thinking to myself, I wouldn't if I couldn't have come across some of these trends or some of these numbers, I wouldn't have thought so. Now there's another game that I want to talk about with you guys here, and it has a lot to do with a team that I used to be fond of. Last year, I was a big High Point guy. Love High Point. And right now they're minus 2.5. They open up at minus 3.5. 50-50 on the bets, 55% versus 45% on the cash. So majority cash, more of the cash, not the majority, but more of the cash is coming in on UAB. And we look at this thing, it's gone from 3.5s down to 2.5s. There's still a 3. There's even a 3.5 floating out there, depending on the side of things that you want to get involved with here. Best number is on FanDuel at minus 2.5 if you like High Point. And what's not to like? They're 3-0. Probably going to come out there and run their conference again this year. Busted up NC Central. Woo! 76-60. Now they were laying 16.5, so they didn't cover the spread, but they went out there early. And they were dominating, and it was just getting tired and sloppy at the end, which happens when we see these big numbers. High Point's like a mid-major, though, right? They're not like a blue blood. They're not like a bigger school that should be laying those kind of numbers. So you still have kind of second-tier athletes. And as soon as they take their foot off the gas, I say second-tier, considering like Dukes and Kentuckies, like that, that's what I mean, right? They're going to get the cream of the crop. They're going to get the NBA guys, like we saw in that Kentucky Duke game the other day, firing all over the place. Experienced players. High Point's going to be the transfer portal turnaround spot. They get a young guy in, maybe he's from a JUCO, has a good season, and then he flips over and he goes to a Kentucky the next year while he gets ready to go to the NBA draft. And that being said, because they've got that second rank or tier of players, they're not covering spreads. Now, they beat up Coppin, 93-51. They were laying 25.5. That was the first game of the season. They've won. They're not covering. UAB, they're kind of in the same boat. They're winning, and they're not covering. But here's what we got. Big opportunity for us in this game here. Looking back, just kind of looking at the overall process between these two teams and kind of, obviously High Point being at home, feeling comfortable, beginning a home stand as well. So, well, not beginning, but staying on a home stand. Sometimes things get a little comfortable, a little too comfortable, if you will. And we got a home favorite, off a win, but a spread loss as a favorite. Off a win, but a spread loss. 5-20 against the spread. 5-20 against the spread. That number also exists for three teams tonight in total. But it does suggest fading High Point. And what does that trend tell us? Well, Vegas is going to react. Vegas is going to have to adjust this thing here because they won, but they didn't cover. So they'll probably take it down just a little bit, showing a little uncertainty in that market, but it's 5-20. The margin is almost 7 points a game in those spots. And now you're looking at a situation where you've got UAB at plus 3.5. Yeah. Live dog, again, when we look to see those margins map over and cover it, we want to take advantage of it. And UAB it is. I'll take the Blazers. Looking at the Blazers, and I just kind of mentioned 1-2 against the spread, but this is their first time putting the keys in the bus, taking it on the road. So there's always a lot of excitement. There's guys that are high-fiving, they're playing some cards. They're all talking, I don't know. I don't want to say what they're talking about, but they're excited to be on the road. They get to go out and stretch their legs before coming back home and then really starting to get into some things. But I think it's a great opportunity. Take a team that's feeling, pretty good about themselves in a strong position against a team that can't cover spreads for shit. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity. I think we got a good price on it. Plus threes at minus 105s. Sure. 3.5 at minus 115s. Sure. Do they win this game outright? I'll tell you what. If you want to have some fun and you're looking for a parlay, I would take New Hampshire on the money line. I would parlay it with UAB on the money line, and I would slap in Maine against Quinnipiac on the money line as well. Yeah. That would be some fun. Sit around and enjoy that thing, because Quinnipiac and Maine game, by the way, also falls under that same criteria as New Hampshire and Cornell. So another 0-7 against the spread situation, 2-5 on the money line. A couple teams fall into those situations. It's early in the season, so you don't want to overreact to those things, but that'd be a nice big payday. Last game that I'm going to talk about for you guys in college hoops here. I'm going to look at this Maryland game. When I find it, give you guys the splits. We'll talk a little bit about it. We're starting to get into the position where we're going to have some more information. We're going to start to have some data. We'll be able to start talking about these players and how they rank across the country and what some of their numbers look like. And, we're still early in the season, but, I've been trying to be careful giving you guys like 2 games, not trying to really open it up too far, but this trend's just a moneymaker and we got to go with it. It's Marquette and Maryland. Maryland opens up at minus 2.5. They've now moved to minus 1.5 though. 49% of the bets, 73% of the cash on the Terps. The line's moving up. It's gone from 145.5 to 147.5. 87% of the bets, 89% of the cash. And what do we got? We got Daddy's old favorite. We got the home unranked team as a favorite against a ranker. That sucker's been profitable for us. I don't know what happened here. Hang on a second. Where'd it go? There it is. We got a bunch of them in play. The home favorite against a non-conference team that's a good team in Marquette. That's sitting there at a 45-32 record. The homestand factor out there. The ranked versus unranked situations, all speaking to jumping in and taking advantage of this Maryland team. And that's what I'm taking advantage of here. You got a 3-0. They're both 3-0, right? Clearly, we got a situation where this should be a banger, but it's Friday night in Maryland. And, I do like Shaka Smart. Generally, I'm a Shaka Smart guy. And I normally would jump in on this Maryland spot. But after I kind of dug in a little bit deeper, I looked back at it and I saw, he rolls 11-6 as a dog on the road. It's not 7 outright wins for Shaka Smart. But I think in this case here, it's just a little too much. Now, Willard, the coach for Maryland, generally doesn't perform in the favorite role. 90-104. So I'm kind of giving you all the wrongs, all the reasons against it. But I still pivot back to, Maryland's stepping up. This is a big game for Maryland to run the test. They're coming in, they're getting ready. They played punching bags to start the season off 3-0. 3 wins, 30 or more points on each of those wins, though. So in terms of building your confidence as a program, you got your boys feeling pretty good. They're fired up. Now, they're all shit teams that they played, all bottom 250 or worse in KenPom rankings. So it's not like they went out there and challenged themselves, but they got things right. And now they got this big squad coming in. And this is where I'm willing to dismiss Shaka Smart as the dog, because they've been gearing up to play this Marquette team. They could see Marquette being an Elite 8 type of sucker this year. And, at the same time, Marquette really hasn't played anybody. So with all fairness and all due respect behind this team here, I'm going to take the home favorite on Friday night. I think it's a good opportunity for us to just jump in on this thing here. Big East title game for Marquette. You're telling me that you're going to see these guys get overlooked? Maryland's going to overlook these guys? Not buying it. They're out there scoring. They're out there striking. We got the home situation out there versus a quality opponent opportunity. We've got big trends in the direction for it as well. But it's soaring now. Minus 132 on the money line. Minus 132, 139s, 140s, 142s, and 145s. point and a half, 10, 15. All right, you know what? Go with the 1.5. Again, the 5-cent rule, right? We talked about this the other day. Every half a point's 5 cents. If you're getting 1.5, if you're laying 1.5 points, that's 15 cents. That at a minus 110 has more ROI to it than, or more value in the pick than it does at, like if you could only get the 2.5, I would take the money line. How about that? There's the assessment. Not because I'm concerned about the 2 points or 3 points victory. I mean, yeah, that certainly factors in, but it's the nickel factor. Minus 2.5s. I would at this point, I would say that your better value is taking that money line. If you can only get 2.5, but I'll take the 1.5 for show purposes here. We'll take the 1.5. That FanDuel, yeah, I don't like that. I'm not excited about that, but we'll take it. We'll run with it. Just getting through some college basketball here. All right, just trying to keep a brisk pace, you guys. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do so. If we can get past 85, we'll give out another cash giveaway tomorrow. We've got 2. 2 days out of the last 3. We've gotten over 85 thumbs up. Let's see if we can get there. I think you guys can do it tonight. We'll get it. We'll get it set. All right, let's jump into college football. And then we'll hit it up. We'll finish off with some. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to change the order. We'll fuck this all up. No looking back now. Let's jump in. I got a couple leans for you guys. I haven't officially pulled the trigger on it yet, but let's start off with the Sixers in the Orlando game here. -1 now, plus 2.5. 39% of the bets and 50% of the cash on the Sixers. The line opened at 227.5. It's plummeted to 208.5. 82% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the over. Yet it's gone way down, dropping like a stone. And the big question here is, will Wagner play tonight? Wendell Carter's out. Banchero's out. What's Franz Wagner going to do? Is he going to play? He was the man 2 games ago. Then they had that little back-to-back situation. He crushed it against Charlotte. They still won against Indiana, but it wasn't to his chagrin. And the Sixers coming into this thing struggling. Struggling team all around at this point. One of the worst in the NBA, but getting healthy. Now they're 2-9, but what do we got? Well, the big thing is we got Embiid, we got Paul George, they got the fellas, they are running. And Kyle Lowry, add into the equation too. Why the hell not? Mention how bad they've been, but yet here we are, a small favorite, and this is a strange number because Orlando has played so well at home. But pace, and more pace. NBA Cup games, right? This is the second game of the in-season tournament. I like the fact that you've got a Philadelphia team, just better tools, better components, better pieces. And that Banchero piece is going to start to create some fatigue. They had to put the full load on Franz, and he started to crumble. Those little baby knees of his got soft. He got injured. He started taking some injury management time that last game. And it's a factor. And it's a good enough factor for me to say, I'm not going to just take the Sixers. I'm taking them on the money line. Overall, I want to see these guys come out there and bounce these boys here. I think that they're in that position right now. They've got the opportunity. They've got their players back. And you got 2 teams moving in different directions. Yeah, Orlando's coming off of that back-to-backer with rest. Back-to-back wins, which is important. But look, it's now or never for the Sixers. This isn't just an in-season. If you're trying to find the motivational spot right now, what a way to turn their franchise around after starting off limping into the season, which amazes me because what the fuck were you doing in your offseason? Yet, they're in a position that they can rain thunder down there. And how about the bounce back spot? It's real in the NBA. I don't know why. I don't know why it's more real here than anywhere else, but early season bounce back opportunities, teams in the Sixers position, 89-44 and on a 7-game win streak. How about that? 7-gamer out there. And Road Dogs playing their third game in 4 nights. 18-8. 18-8 in those spots this season. Hasn't happened a lot. But for whatever reason, they catch that rhythm. They catch that groove. Those are 2 big enough spots for me to look at. The bounce back and the 3 games in 4 nights means you got basketball on the brain. You're focused. You're coming in. You're starting to get the work. And now you're going to try to bounce back. And you're doing it successfully across the NBA. Yeah. Yep. You had me at bounce back. You sold me when you give me the 3 games in 4 nights. Shout out to Old E, my dude. Gifton. My brother, man. This guy has been firing with us here. And I hope you guys have been able to grab some of these plays that he has been gifting out there. 5 sports money memberships from my brother. Thank you, Old E, my dude. Building this community, literally. 5 sports money members at a time, brother. Thank you so much. That's going to be a nice little blessing on our action. Shout out to Gravy Bets in the house. Says GB9 on the grind. Wow. 5 sports money memberships. Fucking Old E. My brother. Fat Panda. Fat Panda's in the house. So 70. Yes. I don't want to pull the don't overthink it. That's one of my least favorite things to hear. Don't overthink it. Just take it. Well, I'm not going to overthink it. This is a spot, but we've got big numbers in our position. That third game in 4 nights. What I love most about that trend is you would think they're tired. You would think it's a bad spot. It's in fact the exact opposite. And that's why I like it so much. When you look at a game and you think it's going to go over and it ends up going under, everyone was talking about it being over. Everyone was talking about the Winnipeg Jets last night. Not us. There's no way they're going to lose to Tampa Bay. Yeah, they did. That really happened. And, that's very much a situation when you see people capping it and they say, oh, it's their third game in 4 days. That just means they're focused. They don't have the other bullshit going on because they're just dialed in to play basketball right now. It's when they come in with rest, right? We've talked about some of those rest opportunities where those teams have struggled because the idle mind is the devil's playground. And at least these guys can focus on basketball, getting their shit together, getting it right. I got a big one for you guys here in the NBA. So I got some leans. I'll talk to you guys about the leans real quick. How about that? I'll give you these 2 leans. How about this? I swear this accent. Sometimes shit works out the way it's supposed to. I mean, it's just because I wrote it up and I've been looking at it all day. Teams with multiple days rest who have been on the road for 2 or more games. Devil's mind is, or the idle mind is the devil's playground. Those teams with multiple days rest, 4-23 with multiple road games, 2 or more road games. 4-23. So you want to fade away. It's funny that I just mentioned that, and here it is. Who are the teams that are in that situation? Multiple days rest and on the road for 2 or more games. The Miami Heat suggest a play on the Pacers. -3.5 has moved to 4.5. So you have correlated movement. 59% of the bets and 56% of the cash has been enough to move that game a full point. What's another spot? The Pistons and Raptors. Well, the Pistons and Raptors one's a little different. How so different? Because you've got the Raptors just coming off that monster road trip. I really like this. I like this Piston spot a lot tonight, actually. We got 5 straight road games for the Toronto Raptors, and they lost them all. They're getting 9 points. They're not covering. They're getting 10 points. They're not covering. Too many injuries. Now, Fontecchio for the Pistons is a guy I'd rather have in that lineup. That's what kept me away from it because he's just such a, Durin's probable. Fontecchio's out. I care less about Tim Hardaway. And now you get the Raptors with no Scotty Barnes, no Emmanuel Quickley, no Bruce Brown, no Kelly Olynyk. And he got a bounce back, not a bounce back, but the team with rest. Now, this one's rest is different because they're coming back home. What's the hardest place to play after a 5-game road trip? That first game back home. All right, I talked myself into the Pistons. It's going to start here in a minute, so just bear with me. I got to get back into this one. I talked myself into the Pistons, just like that. Just like that. And it's going to start here in 10 minutes. So let me get this one in. And then we'll get back to business. Okay. Let's go. Pistons just became official. That really happened, just like that. But the big spot that I wanted to talk to you guys about here, big opportunity. There's a monster trend brewing right now, and we all need to be aware of it. All need to be dialed into it, ready to go. Shout out to Ramon Scott, says Truth Teller is on the line with the Morning Steam Consensus Parlay 7-teamer. You can win over $250. Man, I hope you guys know what's going on out there. If you haven't done it already, get out there and see my man Ramon Scott with the Morning Steam. They get the community consensus information together. The community, the chat consensus plays get logged. And then Ramon takes the number of views, puts a penny per view, and then puts it into a parlay. And he picks one person that comments on the show. One person. Today it was Truth Teller. Then he parlays them up. He's giving that money to the winner. So shout out to Truth Teller. I forgot what he says. He's the Truth Teller and Ramon's the Truth Seller. I can't remember how that goes. Ramon's got a little jingle around that, but that's a great idea. So make sure you guys do check it out. If you haven't done so already, it's a lot of fun. Get in there and comment. All you got to do is drop in a comment. And Ramon's an honest guy. He'll come back and tell you if you made it or not. So shout out to Ramon. And 7. Ramon, I can remember when the consensus was like 2 or 3 plays. Now you got 7. The chat's figured it out. Start commenting so we can get some more plays on that parlay card. Let's go. Let's go. It's awesome. Shout out to you, Truth Teller. Good luck on the parlay tonight. All right, you guys, big trends in store here. Let's go to Sacramento. I told you guys, sit tight. Got some knowledge in this game. Spit some knowledge at you guys here. And I know it's a play-in game. Or it's a tournament game. In-season tournament play. Minnesota Timberwolves open up at +1. They're now -1.5. So they've gone flip-flop from dog to favorite. And it's reverse line movement. 74% of the bets and 71% of the cash are on the Kings. How about this total? Reverse line movement. 83% of the bets are on the over. 80% of the cash are on the over. It's gone from 228.5 down to 222.5. In fact, it dropped from 223.5 right before the show to 222.5. There's still a 223 out there. Okay. Still 223 out there. Here's what's up. Teams off of back-to-back losses in the favorite role of more than 6.5 points in those losses are 41-15 to the under. 41-15 to the under. Because they're not producing. They're not finding enough. They're not scoring enough to exceed Vegas expectations at 6.5 or larger favorites. They're following it back up, playing defense. They got to go back to tinker with the ship, get it right, plug the leaks, play some defense. Sacramento Kings, when they're rested, and they've got a total under 235 after scoring more than 120 the previous game. So a total less than 235 after they went out there and put up a shit ton of points and exceeded Vegas expectations. They're 13-0 to the under. The under's going under by 15.5 points in those king spots out there. We look for that beefy window and margin, and we've seen this drop down to 223, 5.5 points. But last but not least, regular season NBA. This is the one you want to write down. This is the big bang here. Road teams. Where'd it go here? Whoops. Road teams not dogs of more than 7.5 points off a conference game are 31-0 to the under when the total is less than 239. So as long as they're not indexing that thing with a 242 or 248 and some of those numbers that we've seen with the Pacers, Last year, it's a perfect 31-0 in that opportunity. We'll keep our eyes on it. We'll continue to monitor it tonight, but that does mean we are jumping in on this under. Now, I know we talked about this, right? We talked about these games and points being a big tiebreaker and differential, but we cashed on that Sixers one the other day on Tuesday. We're going to run it back and cash on this one with Minnesota tonight. 31-0. You got 3 huge points impacting both sides of the ball, talking about this game being an under, and we've got reverse line movement towards the under. Oh, yeah. We're going to jump in on that one. And I got one more game in the NBA for you guys. I don't know if I even want to say it. I'll tell you what. I will make a deal with you guys. We will readjust this left-hand side of the wall here. If this team does it for us here again. The Clippers and the Rockets. Line at +4, now +5s. 64% of the bets and 63% of the cash are on the Clippers. Total has dropped like a rock. 214.5s down to, 224.5s down to 215s and even 214.5s. 84% of the bets, 84% of the cash are on the over. It's flip-flopped. If I had the proverbial free bet, I'd hammer this over. You know, it's funny. These two teams just played 2 nights ago. And now here they are again. Now, we were on that Rockets side 2 nights ago. That was a Rockets bounce back opportunity. Klay Thompson had come back. We dismissed their previous loss. I'm sorry, that was Dallas. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Dallas. My bad. But at the end of the day here, it is the revenge opportunity. We've got conference dogs who lost the previous 2 meetings. Can you say bounce back? 38-8 against the spread. It's the first 20 games of the season, and they won more than 33 the previous year. That previous year 33 mark is important because it means they're not total slouches that are completely in a rebuild. That you pull those guys out of the equation. The first 20 games of the season means these teams haven't checked out yet. They're still trying to establish their identity and who they are. But they know you can't go on a 3-game losing streak. And that's where the focus comes in. It's 38-8 against the spread in those opportunities here for the Clippers. Now, the margin is, I'd like it to be more. It's about 5.25 points a game. But does that mean that the Clippers are a live dog? Yep, it does. And that's the importance when we look at these trends. Now you're hearing a lot more people talk about their system plays and that why they're not. Listen, we've been doing the trend thing for a minute now. But I'll tell you this. Things that we look for, beefy margin of double digits or opportunities where the margin of the game is enough to take the dog in an outright win position. Makes sense, right? We're not splitting the atom here. We're trying to find winners. We want to cash winning bets, and that's exactly how we're going to try to do that there. Let me move quickly through some college football. I've got 2 games for you guys here. Not a lot to belabor about this thing here. It's going to be a nice football night, but I don't want to fuck with that North Texas game. The total 72.5. I would play the over. I played North Texas. I'm not a UTSA Roadrunners meet type of guy. But I'm looking at Wyoming and Colorado State at 8 p.m., and I'm firing away right here. Start her off for you. Line open at 9.5. It's gone down to 8.5. 55% of the bets are on Colorado State, but 56% of the cash is on Wyoming, which is crazy. Wyoming's fucking useless. 45.5 is the total. It's moved to 47.5. 83% of the bets and 80% of the cash are on the over, and that has been enough to move it. Colorado State, 6-3, performing. In fact, I'm trying to think of what that trend was I heard the other day. I can't remember it. I think it was I can't remember it. Shit. Doesn't matter. We got Colorado State coming off of 4 straight wins. San Jose State at Air Force. New Mexico at Nevada. And we got Wyoming, who just came off a big win against New Mexico. 49-45. So let's use the common opponent theory for a minute. New Mexico wins 49-45 on the road. somehow they scored 49 points. That was like their Super Bowl. They knew they could go out there and take down this New Mexico team. And they did. On the flip side of things, common opponent 2 games before that. What do we got going on? Well, we got Colorado State playing New Mexico. That game was 17-6. They locked him down. Shut him down, held him to 6 points. The total was 62.5. Frame of reference there. And we see, typically we're seeing lower totals. In fact, 3 of the last 4 games have gone under for Colorado State because their defense is starting to ramp up a little bit. 38-21 against Nevada shows that they've got that defensive capability in the secondary. They were starting to lock some teams down, batting some balls out of the air, doing the things they're supposed to do. What we got here is a little trend, a little system, whatever you want to call it. A team that's improved from its previous season on a win streak, as long as it's not their 7th straight winning game. That's a hell of a win streak. Improved from previous year on a win streak, not their 7th win. 393-13 are those teams against the spread. When you move them to home, they go to 150-102. Almost a 33% margin or advantage to the home squad. That's improving from the year before. Got another one for you. How did the teaser come into play? Mountain West teams during the week in the conference home favorite role. 12-2 against the spread. 3-11 to the under, and the under's going under by almost 10 points a game. You can individually play Colorado State. I'm fine with it. You can individually play the under. I'm fine with it. You can tease it. If you're smart, maybe you put a full unit on the teaser and you do 2 half units on each of those sides and you really try to crank this thing, but I kept it simple. Just give me the teaser in this one. Again, Mountain West teams, conference home favorites, 12-2 against the spread, 3-11, and they're improving from the previous year. Put them at home. It's a 150-102 ratio. Give me some Colorado State action. Give me the under in that one. And I got one more. I got one more for us here to put us to bed tonight. We'll go out to the Pacific Northwest. How about that? UCLA, Washington, 9 p.m. If I'm sleeping at 9 p.m., I had too many cocktails. And that would mean I have to start now because I haven't had any today. So +8s moved to +4s. +4.5s out there for UCLA. 74% of the bets and 80% of the cash on Washington. 45.5s where the total opened up. It's gone to 47. You have 76% of the bets and 75% of the cash on the over. Coin flip between these two teams. 4 and 5 versus 5 and 5. The thing for me is it ain't easy to get up to Seattle. Now, UCLA doesn't have what do they go up the Pacific Coast PCH maybe? Are they going to fly? I'm not sure how they're getting there, but look, Washington's not a good team. Where are they good? Home. They played Michigan on October 5th. They beat them 27-17. We were on Washington in that spot. We talked about it. Why is this team who sucks laying 1.5 points against the defending national champions? And they won by 10 points outright. They proceeded to go on the road to lose to Iowa 40-16. They lose to Indiana 31-17. That Indiana game, though, Indiana was showing some heart. That was Indiana in the midst of their stomping and dominating teams, and they put up 17 points. They come back home. They play USC. They beat USC 26-21. Then they fly all the way across the country to Penn State, and Penn State thumped them. Now, that was a game that a lot of people thought Penn State would lose. Their quarterback changes, the injuries that took place, and yet Penn State won. Flip side of things, UCLA's got 3 straight winning games in a row, just beat Iowa, and that 3 in a row factor is huge. We've got a rematch situation. If you're off a loss, you lost to that team the last time you played them, and the opponent's on a 3 or more game winning streak. 43-27. 43-27 is that Washington Husky side of things. And here's another situation. Team's hot. UCLA's coming in running the shop. But yet they're getting 4.5 points. Give me those points. There's no way they lose this game. Well, they played last year. Well, guess what? Teams in a revenge spot off a loss had to rush more than 35 yards against the team the previous game, had to rush pass more than 90 yards the previous game. Are 253 and 163, almost a full 100 wins ahead in that revenge spot there. Undefeated at home for Washington. Tough place to play. Coming back in a bounce back, playing against an opponent that's on a win streak. Yep. The thing I don't like here does scare me just a little bit. They can't seem to figure out who's passing the ball effectively for this Washington Huskies squad. And UCLA does a great job stopping the run. So, a little trepidation there in thinking if they do have to pass this ball, that's definitely not been their strength on the season. But they're playing at home. They're in front of their fans. I think it's enough for us to carry this thing forward. I'm going to take Washington, and I'm going to take that 4. Let's go! Razor Sharp Picks wants to know if we talked about our NHL bet. That would be the Vegas Golden Knights first period going over 1.5. For anybody that's new here, that is what Razor do here. And no, Razor, we took Utah. We're on Utah in that game, but look, I get it. Fully understand it. Fully get it. Fully. I see it. What's the price tag on that? Let me look. I don't want to be out by myself here. I don't want to be the only guy not playing it. Minus 120. FanDuel. Best line alert. Over 1.5. Minus 128. Minus 130s. 135s. Oh, the Delta Center is going to be bumping. That should be fun. I do think, you know what? I like Dorofave. I can't say his name. Dorofave. I like him getting shots on goal. I like him scoring a goal. I like Jack Eichel tonight. You know, I've been kind of shitting on Jack Eichel's not taking shots. I like him getting over the 3.5 shots tonight. It's got that plus money price tag to it as well. So there's a little impromptu. Let's go. Fletcher Berry says, raised. Let's release that. I want to tell you. Ramon info home records. Oh, Pete, no problem. I'll give you the teaser again. What was the teaser? Colorado State minus 2.5 and the under 53. Man, we have been killing teasers. It was just a year ago. One of those guys tried telling us, can't make money on teasers. Fuck that. We made the money last night on the teaser again. Eagles in the over? Hell yeah. Make that money. All right. You guys are going to bet it. I already bet it. Or you're going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to bet it and watch it. How about that? I already bet it. I'm going to watch it. I got a little opportunity in this one. First of all, I have a hard time believing that they're going to let Iron Mike Tyson get knocked the fuck out. I have a hard time imagining it. In the Tyson-Paul fight, you guys talked about it at the onset of the show. They got the 14-ounce gloves. They're heavier. Normally they're wearing 10 ounces or 12 ounces. My nose is itching. They have 14ers. That's to protect people from getting hurt. Then they changed the rounds to 2-minute rounds. Then they changed the number of rounds to 8-minute rounds. So they reduced the number of minutes, they reduced the number of rounds, and they're wearing heavier gloves so guys don't get hurt. Who's the guy that's going to get hurt? Iron Mike Tyson looks fucking shredded. If you've seen this guy and you look at him back when he was the champ 25 years ago, and you look at him now, whoa, this dude, I mean, steroids, he ain't never been a steroid he doesn't like, is what I'm thinking. But he's 58 years old. So I tossed around this one. I thought about the fight ends in a draw. Plus 900. Then I thought to myself, well, Jake Paul's the up-and-comer. Like, this is like a circus act and a charade for Tyson. And what if Tyson just gasses out? He fought what, 10 years ago? They look gassy. I expect the first round they'll dance around, try to feel each other out. Tyson's going to do a lot of this, trying to get back and used to being in the ring. Yeah, you saw that choreographed bitch slap where Tyson slapped Paul in the face because Paul stepped on his foot or what have you. I think they get through 3 rounds. I think the 4th round is when Tyson starts to gas. I think he's going to start breathing deep. He's going to get whacked once real good. I don't know he's going to go down. He's going to get whacked once. And here's the thing I think about this too, and why round 4. I think Tyson's going to make Paul bleed early. There's a prop bet that's out there. Who will bleed first? Jake Paul, minus 250. But he's going to bleed first. So Tyson might catch him early, make it interesting, and everyone starts pouring in that money on Iron Mike Live. Once that 4th round rolls around, shit gets real. We already got a Jake Paul bleeding. He's going to now try to go out there and hurt Tyson. He's going to get through round 4, Mike Tyson. The 5th round comes out. They get to the middle. Jake Paul's big body, if you look at the size difference between these guys, Jake Paul gets him up against the ropes, just kind of boxes him in, gives him the combo, and Tyson stumbles, catches the right-hander, and the ref calls it. It's over. Jake Paul wins in round number 5, plus 1,400. It's 8 rounds. So we're getting just past the halfway point where everyone can feel good about the Netflix money they took, and Chris Paul wins. Not Chris Paul. Whoops. I've been thinking that every time I say Jake Paul. The flip side is the match goes the distance. It goes to the deep waters. They find a way. This kind of led to the draw. That's plus 900. But the reason I ended up with the match goes the distance and not the draw or one fighter to win in decision, because Jake Paul's the up-and-comer. Are they not going to give him this win? I mean, they're not going to humiliate Mike Tyson. Is there going to be a rematch? Is there going to be another battle? I don't know. But I want that plus 150 in case it doesn't happen in the 5th round. I can go back and pivot and still make money if this thing does go to the distance. So that's the angle. That's how I'm choosing to attack this card. Paul wins in round 5 at 14-1. And match goes the distance at plus 150. And I'm not getting cute with it. I'm just going to, well, I'm going to put 1 unit down. Half the unit's going to go on the 1,400. Half the unit's going to go on the match goes the distance. I'm not getting fucking crazy. We all know the money that gets made on the UFC Saturday streams. And I'm not trying to overinvest in this fight. If I can catch that wins in round 5 and I can make a couple $1,000 off of that situation, then I'm going to feel pretty fucking good about it. So that's the way I'm going to choose to attack it. I wanted to share with you guys because I do believe I have a strategy. I do think I have a game script of how it's going to go in my head. And that's ultimately how I went to get that money, get that payday. That's how we're going to close the show up. Going to give you guys a little Tyson Paul action out there. Subhuman Gaucho. Jake Paul to win and get knocked down, plus 650. Jay Peasy says that from the, no, it's just from guys guess out. In my opinion. Is there a leaked fake script? Pete Grosky says he's ripped, but age factor true. I'm going to tell you this. Go back to this for a second. We talked about this yesterday. A lot of action coming in on Jake Paul to win, and then John Jones to win in the main event tomorrow night. A lot of action on that. Take the big favorites, knock the juice down by parlaying them together. One of those two ain't winning. Early assessment. That's it. Early assessment. When you hear it from a lot of people. Hey! Well, then fuck yeah, Jay Peasy. The league script has Tyson lose. He's gassing out. He's gassing out. And if he gets through round 5, well, he's got the last third of the card to go. It'll be interesting to see. I like it. Let's go. Let's make that money. That's going to be the way that we do it. Dana Delp likes Katie Taylor. Our guy talking Katie Taylor action. I'm in there as well. Let's go. Dougie Wise says Miguel Dinero. Houston plus 2. Houston +2 college basketball? Okay, I see what you're saying. College football. I kind of like Arizona. I don't know. I didn't look at this game too much. I don't know. Let me look at it a little more. Hit me up, DM me. I'll let you know what I think about that. So let's go, you guys. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out the door. And let's go for the big score. We got a huge weekend coming up here. So pace yourselves, right? Tomorrow we'll pop off 5:30 for the UFC 309 at Madison Square Garden. Get out there and check out First Strike. And circle back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Our guy, Ramon Scott, the Morning Steam, coming at you guys, giving you the consensus information. Get yourselves entered in the consensus parlay. And shout out to Truth Teller. We will have our fingers crossed for that man getting that cash tonight. Good luck with everybody's cash. Good luck with everybody's action, unless you're on the opposite side of me. And we will be back here Monday at 6 p.m. Going to be a ton of fun to get back after it, but we got a big weekend ahead. So enjoy your Friday nights. Good luck with those bets. And get back in here Saturday. Huge UFC card, 309 at the Garden. All the stars are going to be out. It's going to be a lot of fun. The UFC crew is going to be ready to attack and get that payday. Good luck with everybody. We'll see you guys here real soon. Let me give you guys this one again on the way out the door. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Bring sleep.